All right, in this video I made a shadow brush with you, so I'm going to show you how that works real quick here in the intro, and then I'll show you how to make it. So, whatever color you're using up here in the color drop, there's a lighter version of it that is sort of behind and to the right and the bottom, in this case, of the original stroke. So whichever color you use, even if it's a lighter color to begin with, it's going to have a even lighter color that's the shadow behind it. So, and even when you make the brush smaller, you have to zoom in, but you can see there's a shadow still behind it, no matter how big or, you know, it adjusts the size of both the original stroke and the shadow behind it as you're going. So that's what we're going to make today, and I made a very simple version. You can again make this more complicated if you want, but I'll explain that when I make it. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're making a shadow brush this time, and I actually started a few steps ahead, but this is similar to other ones that I've done. So I've started with, again, a square canvas, and then I make a background layer. I don't use this part, but I make a background layer of black, and then put another layer on top to draw on, and then I put my drawing guide on. And if you go to edit drawing guide, just make the grid size all the way up for your 2D grid, just so we can see where the center is when we're making the shapes. It helps. So I'm on layer 2 now. I'm gonna make a circle. That's an ellipse right now, so I'm gonna change it to a circle, and I'm gonna move it to where it's in the center. And I can move the nodes to help with that. It'll take me where it keeps it still as a circle. And then I'm just going to fill it in. And then I'm going to take this circle, transform it. I'm going to make it uniform. Make sure it's on uniform, otherwise it might mess with the proportions. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller here. I'm going to move it kind of into this corner, and then I'm going to take this layer, duplicate it, and then I'm now on the layer on top. So I want that one on top actually, so I'm going to pick the one on the bottom here. Even though they're both labeled layer 2 right now, I'm going to pick the second layer 2, the one in the middle of layer 1 and layer 2. And I'm going to transform that one also. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than that one. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the adjustments, the hue, saturation, brightness. And I'm going to change the brightness down. I'll just do it half of what it was, so 25%. So that's going to be the shape I'm going to use for this brush. So I'm going to take my 3 fingers and do the copy paste menu. And I'm going to copy all. And again, if that doesn't work for you, you can go into settings here, this wrench actions menu, go to add, and then copy canvas. It's the same thing. And then I'm going to go into my brushes again. Now I made a category for shadow here already. I'm just going to add new brush. I'm going to go to shape, edit, import, and paste. That's what I copied. So that's going to be my shape. Now there's a few things I have to do. Go down to Apple Pencil. I'm going to change this because this is always the default setting, and most of the time I don't want it. So I'm going to change this down to none. Now if you see here in the drawing pad, you can kind of see there's a line and then there's another one behind it, sort of. And we're going to fix that a little bit because you're going to be able to actually look at that as an actual shadow. So we're going to go into rendering, and we're going to change intense glaze to light glaze. So this is how that white on top right now, that's the color we're using, is blending in with the gray on the bottom of it that was behind it. And right now, using light glaze, you're able to get that kind of shadowy look. So that's just white. You can change the color. Let's clear the drawing pad and use these as kind of to see what it looks like. So now you see with a different color, it's taking like a lighter version of that color. So that color with half the brightness that it already has. So you can't get like whatever, not with this brush, you can't get whatever color you want on your shadow. It would just be the same color you're using, half brightness as your shadow. So if that's the look you're going for, you can do this with your brush. So, and again, you can make all the other changes you want to do that we went through in the brush studio. You can use a different shape. You don't have to use a circle. You can use like an oval or whatever other shape you want to make whatever kind of brush you want, whatever you want this one to look like, this regular light blue one that doesn't have the brightness messed up. So whatever shape you want your brush to be as you're drawing, you can change that, and then just make the shadow off to the side and a little bit bigger and make sure it's behind this one. So that's how you can do that. So just to show you a little bit more how this works, make another layer, pick another color. And you see, even when it's smaller, it's still got, it's much smaller shadow, but it's still got a shadow behind it. And you can move the placement of the shadow if you don't want it to be like off that way. You can move it that way, or you can move it that way or that way, whatever way you want. And you can use, and like I said, any of these colors on here. Oops, it's totally not what I wanted. But even if you're using like a lighter one to begin with, it'll just pick an even lighter one to be your shadow. Even if it's, you know, more over here, it's still got, you know, a lighter version for your shadow. So anyway, that's how you make a shadow brush. All right, everyone, that was the shadow brush. I have a few more brushes I want to make in this series that are kind of jumping off points to making more brushes. So I have a few more I want to show you. Then we're going to start doing animations. And then after that, I have a miscellaneous category again that I've been talking about for a while if you've been watching all my videos. That's going to go over all of the other stuff that's kind of in the background, like importing, exporting, and stuff like that. And other things in the actions menu that I haven't really gone into. And then again, miscellaneous stuff. So all of those videos are coming soon. And then again, after we finish all of those, that'll be technically the end of my Procreate for Beginners series, and we're going to start doing projects together that kind of take a lot of these concepts together in a practical way and show you how to use them. So that's what you have to look forward to. Thanks for watching this short video, and I'll see you in the next one.